Today, we're going to look at Scott Darling's rise through the minors. Scott is the only player to start his professional career in the SPHL and make it to the NHL. He's a minor league hero and is the greatest example of why single-A pro hockey is still important. Scott began his junior hockey career with the North Iowa Outlaws of the NAHL in 2005 to 2006. In 2007, he was drafted by the Phoenix Coyotes in round 6, 153rd overall after posting a .924 in the ECHL. After spending his 07-08 season with the Indiana Ice of the USHL, where he played 42 games and had a 3.04 goals against average, Darling decided to go to college. He committed to the University of Maine and played 2 seasons of NCAA hockey. Darling's partying would result with him being kicked off the team, and he would have to go pro after his second season. Darling went to camp with the Phoenix Coyotes that summer, but he went to camp out of shape and with a bad attitude. They cut him. He had to make the jump to professional hockey, playing for the Louisiana Icegators of the SPHL, the 4th tier of hockey in North America. Darling's drinking got out of hand in Louisiana. Rock bottom for Scott was when he played in Columbus, Georgia, and his father came to watch the game. Louisiana won, but Scott's dad said to him in the parking lot, "You shouldn't be here." Louisiana said they didn't want Scott back at the end of the season, and it was at this point that he decided to go to rehab. Darling stated in an interview that he had battled with social anxiety that led to his drinking. Overcoming this was the key to his success. Also, his goalie coach, Brian Decord, being tough on Darling was just what he needed to get back on track. Darling would sign with the SPHL while still in rehab and would attend camp very out of shape, but now sober. He would play the bulk of his time with the Mississippi RiverKings that season, going on loan to the Florida Everblades of the ECHL, Wichita Thunder of the CHL, and the Charlotte Checkers of the AHL. 2012 is when things really started to come together for Scott. He played 32 games for the Wheeling Nailers of the ECHL, posting a 2.8 goals against along with a shutout for the Hamilton Bulldogs of the AHL. Decord received a call one summer and from Nashville Predators goalie coach Mitch Korn. Korn asked Decord which player he would choose between 2 goalies he was considering for the 5th spot on the Predators depth chart. Decord said, "To be honest with you, I've got a better choice on the ice and he's in my 4 o'clock group today and his name is Scott Darling." Darling signed a 2-way deal between the AHL and the ECHL within the Nashville farm system. Pecorine's bacterial hip infection resulted in Scott getting a chance in the AHL, and he took advantage. That season, Darling spent most of the year in the AHL with the Milwaukee Admirals. His 2.0 goals against and 9.33 save percentage was the key to realize his NHL dream. On July 1st, 2014, the Chicago Blackhawks signed Darling as a free agent to his first NHL contract on a 1-year deal. Darling made his NHL debut on October 26, 2014 against the Ottawa Senators, making 32 saves in the 2-1 win. He became the first SPHL player to play in an NHL game. Darling was sent down to the Blackhawks' AHL affiliate, the Rockford IceHogs, as Corey Crawford recovered from injury. Darling would be yo-yoed until February. He got called back up to the Blackhawks and Antti Ranta was sent down, making Scott the backup goaltender. At this time, Darling also received a 2-year contract extension from Chicago. Later that March, Darling would post his first NHL shutout, setting the stage for his first playoff appearance. An impressive turnaround for a goalie that was stuck in the spill just a few years before. On April 15, 2015, Darling recorded his first playoff win after replacing Crawford in net. At intermission, Scott was told he was going in, so he went to the bathroom, puked, then made 42 saves with the Blackhawks defeating the Nashville Predators 4-3 in double overtime. Darling would set 2 NHL records that night, for the longest relief appearance without allowing a goal, as well as the most saves in relief without allowing a goal. The Blackhawks would go on to win the Stanley Cup, with Darling playing in 5 games. Darling also became the first Chicago area native player to win a Stanley Cup with the Blackhawks. You have to admit, that was quite a career. Make sure to subscribe to Outside the League for hockey content you can't get anywhere else.